Boom, we're live. So we'll give everybody a quick minute to
Just a
join.
minute.
And then in the meantime, give everybody a quick breakdown as we do every time while Yusuf is sharing the links. We're covering SEO, search engine optimization, and this is SEO the series every Thursday at 10 p.m. Central. So we talked about why SEO is important, what SEO is. Then we went into the difference between on-page and off-page SEO. We also discussed, very importantly, voice search, why voice search is important. And then we talked about the 4 essential SEO principles, followed by the Google factors. And last week, we introduced what is a keyword. Today, we're discussing how to perform useful keyword research. And we're going to be talking about keywords in general for the next couple of weeks. So, Mr. Chowdhury, how you doing?
Excellent as usual and as always. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain, brother. I cannot complain.
You better not.
I'm not going to. You have my promise, my man. So real quick, catch us up to re-summarize what we discussed last week in terms of what is a keyword. Just a very quick high-level summary.
High-level summary. So basically, last week we went ahead and defined, what is a keyword in itself, like why keyword matters when it comes to like online, right? You typically it's any type of phrase, not just any type, but it's a targeted, relevant phrases, 3 to 4 words or terms that reflects some pages within your website that your target audience are looking for. Right? It can be a single word. It can be a combination of several words. So basically, in a simple term, that's what keywords are.
And what relation does a keyword have to search engine optimization? So how does it that keywords work? Give us a practical example real quick. So if I'm looking for, as you always use the yoga example, if I'm looking for yoga in San Antonio, how does a keyword usage impact or affect us finding particular businesses?
Excellent question. So typically, first thing first, how do us as consumers, as customer behave when we go to Google? Like if I go to Google and I'm looking for a product or a service, what do I type? Of course, I type words. If I'm looking for, let's say, best chiropractor near me, right? I'm just going to type, chiropractor near me or best chiropractor or these sort of terminologies that the customer search to find some information to what they're looking for. And in order for your website to basically show up for those terminologies, you have to use keyword as one of the ways on how to optimize your website. It's not the main thing. So I don't want people to get confused right here, because a lot of the time when you speak to any small businesses or any kind of businesses that don't understand how search engine optimization work, the first thing pops in their head, keyword. I'm like, but the keyword is not the only thing. The keyword option is just part of the process. So for example, if I take yoga in Chicago, right? Chicago. So let's say you have a yoga studio and you do want to attract a specific audience that focus on Ashtanga yoga, for example. Ashtanga yoga, that's what you do. You look like, right? So when you build a page, you're going to build a service page that talks about the Ashtanga yoga, how does it work, what are the requirements, and how to sign up. So that particular page, the content with that page talks about the service itself that your customers are looking for. So that's why you have to do the keyword research to understand what your audience are actually typing. Excuse me, when they look for your product and services, right? So that's one thing. So the content and some of the phrases within the content reflect that information. But these keyword research, when you do it, it is not just for the front end content distribution or within the content distribution, but it's also on the back end. And we're going to talk about this later on, maybe next week, on how to basically distribute the relevant keyword that you research and find, and how you're going to optimize it on every single pages, so the search engine can understand what this particular page is talking about. And at the same time, as a customer, I would basically know what that page is about, because I'm looking for that type of information, whether it's a product or service.
Okay, so then let's go more specific to, obviously it's very clear that keyword research and using the right keywords is very important for finding. So if I'm a business owner, right, I should know what keywords are being used to find particular services or businesses, because that's going to impact whether my business or service is found online. So go ahead.
You're absolutely correct. And plus, it also give an idea, because you as a business, you need to know your target audience from different angles. Excuse me. But now you can also know, okay, so what are they typing to look for my product? Are they looking for, I don't know, yoga pants, if I'm selling that, or yoga mats, if I'm selling yoga mats? What are they actually typing? We assume, because I sell yoga mats, we assume that, oh, they're just going to go to Google and type yoga mats. But that's not the case, because when you do the research, you will find out that they're actually typing for something else that is similar to yoga mats. Like they're looking for yoga mats, but they're going to look for something else, or they're going to type something else. For example, a nice looking mat for yoga, or a mat to lay on it. You know what I mean? You'll be surprised. When you do the keyword research, you will see all these, oh my God, what kind of key phrases are these? And what are people typing? Okay. And in that process of research, you can plug in all those keywords within the search engine. Like you can go back to Google or Bing. Then you can see what kind of sites are showing up. What kind of websites showing up for these terminologies? Are these the same website that I'm providing? Right? Man, you got the plane so close to your house.
Can you hear it?
I just passed by. You're like laughing. Like, does that make sense?
Okay, so then let's, again, before you go into the examples of where we do research on Bing and whatnot. So now take us through the steps on keyword research. So if I'm a digital marketing agency, and I want to know how I can start utilizing the right keywords. Where do I start?
Okay, excellent question. Because when it comes to the keyword tool, we're going to talk about that next week. But today, I'm going to talk about how to do the proper research. Right. The first thing is, of course, you need to use the tools. Mm-hmm. So you have a free tools like, Google Keyword Planner, keywordseverywhere.com, for example. There are free tools out there that can help you to extract some of this information. If you are going to use Google Keyword Planner, because everybody has an access to Gmail, I would say most people have a Gmail account. If you have a Gmail account, by default, you have access to all the Google products. So one of them is Google AdWords. So once you log into the Google AdWords, go to the tools, go to the settings, and look up for Google Keyword Planner. When you go to Google Keyword Planner, you can select your city and tap the main word, let's say one word, yoga, for example. Then Google will show you a variation anywhere between 500 to 800 variation from that one term, right? So you're going to look at this Excel sheet. I'm like, oh my God, 800 keywords. I only have like 5 pages, right? So you're going to look at them. First thing you have to look at the relevancy. Are these keywords relevant? Does it say San Antonio on it, or Chicago, if I'm in Chicago, if I'm focused on Chicago, right? Are there any yoga that I don't provide? Are there some yoga services that I do provide? You see what I'm saying? So you have to look at the relevancy first. You can also look and see for every keyword that you're researching, what kind of website shows up on the front page of Google. If these websites are similar to your business, okay, then that's good. Then you look at the volume. Is the volume low? Is it 1,000 search per month? Is it a 10 search per month? If it's 10, that's too low. Make sense? So you look at the relevancy, you look at the volume. Then, of course, there's no way for you to use all the 800. So what you do, you pick the most relevant. Let's say you ended up getting, out of the 800, maybe you ended up getting like 200. And now you have 200 variation of terminologies and keywords and key phrases that your potential customers are searching locally in your area. After that, what you need to do, because you have 5 pages, you got to pick top 5 based on those pages. So if you have a page that talks about Ashtanga Yoga, you're going to pick a keyword that talks about Ashtanga Yoga, for example, right? Because when you start distributing some of this keyword on the back end for the on-page SEO, like, for title tag and the meta tag, you have to make sure that it's relevant to that particular page. The remaining 95 or 195 key phrases, you can utilize them on blogging material, podcasting shows, YouTube channels, or social media updates, or writing any content outside the website. And we'll talk about that later next week. So one way is just to use the free tool and look at the relevancy and the volume. The second option is if you are going to invest, and we're going to talk about this next week, of course, and that is in a premium keyword tools like SEMrush or Ahref or SpyFu, or even Market Samurai, those type of keyword, because they're premium, they come with a lot of extra additional cool stuff that can help you reduce some of your time effort. Because if you are going to go to Google Keyword Planner, right, the free one, it's going to take you maybe at least an hour or two maximum to find the best, key phrases to implement on your website.
Well, okay, you mentioned the free tools. You mentioned Google Keyword Planner. There was one more you mentioned. I didn't get it done.
Keywords, let me double check. I believe it's keywords everywhere. Yeah, keywords everywhere. So keywords everywhere, basically it's like a Chrome extension. So what it does when you go to Google and in the Google search, if you type yoga, how sometimes when you type something in Google search, you will get the autocomplete keywords, like the keyword that shows up. That's called autocomplete, right? Then you're going to have people also ask. When you scroll down, there's also more information about several key phrases. So the cool thing about keywords everywhere, what it does on the right hand side of your browser, it will give you the most popular keywords from the time you did a search. So if I go to Google and type yoga, quickly on the right hand side, it will show me the most popular keywords that you can download them on an Excel sheet. So that's what the keywords everywhere does. But it doesn't tell you the volume, and actually maybe this. Let me double check. It doesn't give you full detail. Like, go ahead.
And while you're checking, think about this. So, for example, you mentioned frequency, relevancy, volume, etc. But what if I am now doing this research and I find a word that's being entered a lot into Google, but isn't that also isn't there a disadvantage because now I'm going to use a word that many other organizations are probably using when it comes to trying to rank?
That's a very, very good question. So let's say me and you in the same location are yoga instructors, right? And the most popular keyword is yoga near me, correct? So what should I do? In this situation, I can still use it. I can use the same keyword that you're using. In fact, sometime we look at your competitor. Let's see why they're ranking on the front page, what key phrases they're using, and we do the same. Now, why would I do that? Because at the end of the day, Google will decide how they are going to show it, right? Because they are, if you don't forget, there are more than 200 factors for Google to decide to put you on the front page. Just because somebody else used it doesn't mean you can't. Make sense? Maybe they're implementing 50% of the so-called 200 factors. Maybe you can implement 60 or 80% of it. You see what I'm saying? So again, because the search engine will decide, especially also the location. Right now, if I type yoga, I will see all the yoga studios within San Antonio. Google gives me all those results because all of them have Google My Business page. Now, when it comes to the website ranking, for some reason, it decided to rank. Let's see who came up here. Let's see. So the Google My Business page all shows up, but when it comes to the actual studio, they pick, let's say, Black Swan Yoga. So they're like number one organically. So their website is showing up as the first page. Then South Town Yoga Loft, that's another one, Half Moon Power, for example. So these are all based on whatever the reason Google decided to put them on the front page. Just because I tapped the word yoga near me, for example. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, yes, it is okay for you to utilize it because at the end of the day, Google will decide to rank you for whatever you're doing. Maybe you're doing 2 blogs per week and your competitor's doing 1 blog per month. Do you see what I'm saying? So even when we do SEO for our clients, we look at their top 5 competitors. We analyze their website. We look at and see exactly what are they doing. If they are blogging once a month, great. We're going to do it 4 times a month, for example. If they are distributing some of the content in different infographic sites, great. If they do it like once every 3 months, we're going to do it once every month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So because the objective is to not just rank, of course, that's what every business wants it. The main objective is to bring that targeted audience to find you and buy the product and service from you, right? So it is okay actually to use a key phrases like within the same niche like your competitor, because we do that actually. We actually analyze them because if they're ranking for this, and we'll try to rank as well and get the traffic.
Okay. So do you think this is a good place to put it on pause so that next week we can talk about what tools to use?
Absolutely. I mean, unless if anybody has any question, but typically the keyword is really it is important. But I want the small business to understand that that is not the only thing. I mean, when it comes to the website, yes, doing the keyword research gives me an understanding of what my target audience are searching for locally or through e-commerce or whatever the niche and service is. This will give me an idea to understand them, right? Then when it comes to the website, based on the pages, based on what I'm providing, I have to optimize it. And keyword is just one part of that optimization, but not the main part. This is where people get confused. They think that slap in a couple of key phrases and you're good to go. That's not the case. There's so many other things you have to do on the back end to basically allow the search engine to understand what those pages about, and also the customer to understand what those pages that they're looking for are about.
Okay. All right. So I don't think Charles is watching today. So we don't have,
All right. I saw him online. I'm like, oh, maybe he's busy.
so no, we
He's a
don't,
good guy. Yeah.
yeah. Maybe I see some more viewers now, so maybe one of them is Charles. So we'll wait 20 seconds for a comment or a question.
Yeah.
If
Just let me 20 seconds and
if not, guys, ladies and gentlemen, next week we'll be continuing with part 8, which is what keyword tools can we use,
yep.
which is what, obviously we talked about the importance of keywords, how they relate to being searched and found via Google, how they help your website being searched for, but we don't know what tools to necessarily use. I mean, Yusuf did give us a couple tools, but we'll go more into more details on the tools that can be specifically used. So
yeah, that's very important because there are paid tools and they're free, and not all the free are good either, right? I mean, you have to be very careful what kind of free tools you're going to use because not all of them are that great, and there are tons of them out there. Even with the paid version, not all of them are good either. So you have to be, I can share with you what we are using for our clients and what worked for us, and most of them like in the range within 75 to $150 a month, that kind of tools out there. But these are really good. I mean, these tools because everyone has their own database, like Google has its own data to pull all this information. Href or SEMrush, they have their own data to collect all this information because they do a lot of testing. They have a crawling software, so they do a lot of other amazing stuff, so they can exactly show you. And when you do this research, understand that these are not 100% accurate. These could be anywhere between 75 to 80% accuracy, and you are utilizing it not out of assumption. You're utilizing it because you want to make sure at least the majority of the time this is what the target audience are looking for. So I need to make sure at least they can get the eyeballs on the site.
All right. So everybody, thank you for attending. We'll see y'all next week. Howdy doody from San Antonio, Texas, right?
Yeah, and Chicago. Chicago.
So see you guys next week. Thanks for attending as always. And